Hey guys, and welcome to the Akinons YouTube channel. In the previous video, we spoke about props and how we can use props and parse data from components. Now, we will learn something about states in React and how we can make use of different types of states in our application. So let's get started. So basically, from a beginner's point of view, a state is something that can be used based on user action or certain network action. Basically, the state controls an object and displays that data on a window. And this state renders based on the changes. So if there is a change in a state, our components will re-render, which means our components will update itself. So previously, when we would work with React, components were more likely created using class components, but now we make use of function components. Because of that, we do not use the common set state, that is a very famous function while working with class components to update our states, but now we make use of hooks. So in today's video, we will study about useState, a very famous hook to update our state. So now, when we talk about the current application that we are working with, for example, this application where there are user tile components, we have certain data present here, that is const my data is equal to Carl, and that is getting displayed here. So this is basically can be thought of as a static variable, and there's nothing much really happening over here. So if we try to update this value, let's say button, and I'll just say update name. Okay, and if I click on this button, let me create an on click event on click, and this on click variable on click event will update the variable my data. So let's try to do that. First of all, to update, I need to change it from const to let, and here on click my data is equal to ash. Okay, so now if we go back to our web page, if I click on this update name, this name should get updated from Carl to Ash and get displayed on the window. But if I click on it, it does not get updated. As you can see, the Carl word remains pretty much the same. And this is the application where use state hook helps us a lot. Now we will understand how to make use of the use state hook. So let's just keep this here, and let's understand the syntax first of all of use state. We'll create a variable called let, and here we will place the name of our data. So let's say name comma update name. Okay, so name comma update name is equal to use state, and within this use state we need to specify the type of the data. Now we are currently working with a string, so I'll just keep a empty string present here. You can also leave it blank, but let's just stick to defining the data type ourselves. So I've defined use state, and as you can see on top here, it gets imported from the React library use state. So you in this use state, always remember the u is small and the state s is capital. It's a basically camel case convention of typing this word. And now inside this list, let's understand what are these two variables. Now the data that is stored, the variable that will store the data of this string value will be saved in name, and update name can be thought as a function to update the value present inside the string. So again, I'll just explain you right over again. This name variable will store the data present in this string. For example, let's keep it as Carl. So now Carl data is corresponding to the variable name, and let's say I want to update this Carl from this variable from Carl to Ash. I will make use of this function update name. So I hope you've understood this. Now let's try to make use of the use state within our application. So here, obviously I was displaying this hello world, and now let's change it from my data to name, and let me save this. Everything works perfectly. Hello world Carl, and let me just change the use state and just show you that I am trying to render the variable from this section. Let me prove that to you. So as you can see, after changing from Carl to Ash, it remains the same. But here I am changing this variable within the code, and that is not very practical. I want the button press, and then after pressing the button it should change from Carl to Ash. So let's see how to do that. So here what we want to do is in this section of on click update name, we will again add the same event listener on click. On click. And now we will basically make use of this function, that is update name. So firstly, I will make use of the arrow function, and within that I will do the update name. So on click update name, and now I can simply put the name that I want to update. So the reason why we are using this arrow function, what happens is React does not understand that this is a function that needs to be run, and returns the component infinite number of times. So that results in the app crashing. So we need to add the arrow function, so that tells us that we have to only perform this function when the button is clicked. Okay, so I hope that explanation helps you guys. So let me save it and go back. So it says hello world Carl, and if I click on this update name, wonderful, it has changed from Carl to Ash. Now the use case of the use if state can be in infinite number of cases. So basically it can be used in form handling, it can be used in updating values inside a database, it can be used in any type of data where your variables are changing constantly. So like a form is a very good example as to how use state is used. So in the next video, we will see how to create a form using the use state effect. So that's it from this video, guys. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to drop a like button and subscribe to the Hackathons YouTube channel for more fun and interesting videos.